we got a heart stopper of an ending for the season finale of... So come talk nerdy with me and let's break down episode 8. And make sure you stay till the end because we're going to talk about a new villain that's revealed who's going to be a major problem for the next season. Spoilers ahead. If you remember at the end of episode 7, Mark realizes that the Viltrumites are heading towards Earth, and at the beginning of this episode, Mark rushes home as fast as he can, only to find that the Viltrumites aren't there. As far as he knows, at least. But once he gets home and realizes that everything's all good, he realizes that he's struggling from some PTSD from the Viltrumite war. Like, bro is having literal trauma attacks in the middle of the day, and it's really sad to see this happening to him. A common theme with all these walking nightmares that Mark is having, the Viltrumites are attacking Earth and unaliving all of the people that he cares about. And he's worried about this because not only did he take out a bunch of Viltrumites during the war, but he also helped completely destroy their planet. So he's worried that Thragg and the other Viltrumites are going to do the same to his world. And Mark tries to get through his PTSD by finding comfort from his loved ones like his mom, and he eventually goes to visit Eve where he learns about her pregnancy and eventual abortion. And honestly, this scene made me cry just because of how raw and emotional it was. Eve is breaking down over the hard decisions that she had to make for the past 10 months since Mark was gone, and then Mark is just being so supportive, saying, I should have been there for you, I'm so sorry you had to go through this alone. And I just love the love. They're so supportive and communicative of each other, and it just is one of my favorite aspects of this series, honestly more so than the superhero stuff. But despite reconnecting with his loved ones, Mark is still struggling with PTSD, and honestly it makes total sense. He saw the devil when he punched Thragg. That would do it for me. Think about it, when Mark had to fight Conquest, who at the time was the strongest Viltrumite we've ever seen in this series, it took everything Mark had to take him out. But against Thragg is leagues above Conquest. So it's not just Mark being afraid that Thragg and the Viltrumites are going to cause a bunch of mayhem on Earth, it's him knowing that if they did, there is nothing that Mark can do to stop them. So in a surprising twist, Mark goes to visit Cecil for help, which I'm surprised he didn't immediately confront Cecil about Conquest still being alive, but he has a lot on his mind at this moment. But what really catches me by surprise in this scene is that Mark asks for a therapist. Do you know how rare it is for a superhero to see a therapist? Do you know how many problems in the superhero genre as a whole could be solved if the characters just go to a therapist? Like, this is insane. This is a milestone we're seeing here. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm pro therapy, and I think it's awesome that this series is showing a character as powerful as Invincible asking for help like that. But while Mark is adjusting to life on Earth after being in a war, Nolan is on Earth too, so that means his apology tour is back on. Nolan meets up with Debbie to report to her what happened to Oliver in the war and to let her know that he's back on the planet Telescria getting the best medical treatment from his trusted friends. And understandably, Debbie is not happy with that news. Like, you left our baby on a different planet with people I don't know and he's hurt. Like, what are you thinking? I know Oliver's technically not her baby, but that's her baby. And I thought this was wild. Nolan has the audacity to get frustrated at Debbie for not cutting him any slack. And he's like, you know, girl, hey, give me a chance to prove that I've changed. And I'm proud of Debbie because she's not hearing any of it. I don't know why Nolan is suddenly so entitled to people's forgiveness. Like, bro, you did horrible things, and it's not up to you whether or not someone forgives you or not. Nolan already apologized to Debbie, so now he should just leave her be and let her be the one to decide whether or not she forgives him, and let it be on her time. But I'm just a guy on YouTube who talks about superheroes. Nolan's not gonna listen to me. And this point is hammered home when Nolan later meets with Cecil to debrief him about the Viltrumite war, and he also apologizes to Cecil about everything that he's done. And Cecil's like, hey, you know, thank you for saying sorry, it's a start, but you still got a long way to go before we're gonna welcome you back here again. And then Nolan, once again feeling entitled, is like, hey, I almost died for all of you in this war. And Cecil just hits him with that quick comeback like, oh, congrats, now do that again 2,340 241 more times and we'll call it even. And that's a reference to the amount of people killed by Nolan back in season 1. So hopefully Nolan will figure it out by next season, and he has another opportunity to show that he's changed because Debbie wants to go with him to visit Oliver, who's still recovering on Telestria. So I'm just like, Nolan, you better not hurt Debbie because she is a saint. She is by far the best character in this series, and we all love her. So once they leave, Mark is the first and last line of defense, the sole Viltrumite on Earth. Dun dun dun. Or is he? Mark is still struggling through his trauma, so he decides to clear his head and go flying around. And while he's flying around, he sees Thragg again. And Mark is just like, dang, I must be tripping again. Nope, you're not tripping. Thragg is really there. And once Mark realizes that's really Thragg, he just no hesitation, he just starts attacking him. And even though it has no effect on Thragg, he just keeps throwing punches. Which honestly, I respect him for that. Mark's got that dog in him. Fortunately, Thragg only wants to talk, and he tells Mark that all 37 remaining Viltrumites are hidden throughout Earth, living amongst the humans and breeding with them in order to rebuild the Viltrumite race. And if Thragg wanted to, he could command all the Viltrumites to easily destroy the Earth, but he doesn't want to do that. He wants to have a truce. So the deal is, Mark will allow the Viltrumites to live on Earth and allow them to breed and rebuild their numbers. And in exchange, the Viltrumites will not only remain hidden, but they won't influence, hinder, or harm humanity in any way. But if Mark refuses, well, you can guess what might happen. Off the bat though, Mark wants to refuse this, but he remembers Eve and promising to keep her safe and to be there for her, so reluctantly, he accepts the truce.
I'll make that deal. How about you bitch, you make that deal?
I'd make that deal.
I don't blame you. Damn good deal.
But he does feel horrible about it. And in a surprising show of empathy and respect to Mark, Thragg calls him the Viltrumite savior, and he says that Mark is responsible for saving the lives of every inhabitant on the planet. And I like that they show this side of Thragg, that he's not just a warmongering evil psychopath. He is evil, don't get it twisted, but he has a lot more depth. Now, will Thragg actually keep his side of the bargain? Honestly, I think he will. I think Thragg genuinely cares about the well-being of his people, and he would rather not have a war against the Earth, which they would totally win, but not without taking way more casualties and destroying the one race that gives them their best chance of repopulating the Viltrumites. Will they eventually try to conquer the Earth once the Viltrumites are more numerous? It's possible, but I think Thragg's plan might backfire on him. Because like during Nolan's time being on Earth, I feel like a lot of the Viltrumites are gonna fold. Like, did you see how happy General Krieg is? He's got a woman in his arms, he drives a Harley, he's smoking a menthol, he's probably like, hey, yo, the Viltrumite life, being human rocks. So maybe this truce will be beneficial for Earth in the long run. You'll have a bunch of Viltrumites that fall in love with it and now will want to protect it. And they'll need that protection because out there is a more pressing enemy that will make themselves known. And no, it is not Thragg, it's Alan the alien. Because in the post-credit scene, we see Alan trying to adjust to being the new leader of the coalition, and he receives one final message from Thetis before he died. Thetis tells Alan about the perfected Scourge virus and how it will wipe out all Viltrumites and any species that share similar biologies to them, much like the humans. And Thetis tells Alan to use the Scourge virus to destroy all Viltrumites, no matter the cost, even if it's innocent lives at stake. And I have a feeling Alan is going to attempt to go through with this. Alan is facing pressure from the coalition to hunt down all the Viltrumites, and they were stoking up on his anger about how the Viltrumites destroyed his entire race. And of course, these are the final wishes of his longtime friend and mentor. So yeah, it breaks my heart, but Mark is gonna have to fight Alan. Because if he doesn't, it won't be just the Viltrumites that get destroyed by this virus, but it'll be all of humanity. But overall, I absolutely loved season 4 of Invincible, and I absolutely cannot wait for season 5. Like, come on, just give it to me already. But what are your thoughts on this season finale? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you missed my previous discussion on episode 7, go ahead and click on the box right here, and I'll see you in a bit.